Mr. Ryan here, that ninja therapist who's been bringing all that mental health goodness for the last year or so here on these socials. Today is special announcement time. We have officially become a Creative Lab member at Atithi Studios. Still hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Over there, I believe this is Sharpsburg, Alllllllsssooooo. One of those people, one of those little towns right off our Highland Park Bridge, right to the right. You know what I mean? Right there. Actually, they're to the left. So it is Ashmore. So I don't know. One of them. I can never get it straight. I know where Waterworks is though. So I am an official member of their amazing studio, which then means I get access to this wonderful podcast studio, which means we get to now record what we've been doing for the last year on the Mindfulness Power Hour in a legit studio with professional equipment. This is just beyond exciting. Absolutely beyond exciting. So I just noticed the phone went. The game plan is to step up the production quality, right? That I have been committed to the process of showing up week in and week out for the Mindfulness Power Hour. I have continued to work hard to challenge everybody I can to take that time in for themselves, right? To work on developing their mindfulness. I've been working over almost a year now, doing different coping skill demonstrations, showing different ways to meditate, to heal, to soothe that soul of yours, right? We've done brain humming, breathing exercises, grounding exercises, tapping exercises. My favorite, right? You guys know it. Brain humming, right? Brain humming exercises, right? There's such a gallery of different coping skills to choose from, right? Because that's the thing. Coping skills are a personal thing. What works for one person doesn't work for another. So I want to keep showing different ways to soothe that soul to help as many people in a variety of ways as possible, right? And because of that sustained commitment to that cause, right, I've decided to take this leap, right, to invest a little money in some studio time, give me an opportunity to up the quality on the Mindfulness Power Hour, right, to do a better job there in terms of sound and lighting and things like that. It's also going to give you the opportunity to record different content as well, right? We've talked about this Mindfulness Power Hour, right? It's been my video blog, right? It's been this personal journey of showing up each week for myself, getting the reps in and getting better at being that presenter, right? Getting better at being the person that's going to be able to go into schools and have mental health assemblies and teach the kids about mental health, right? Person that's going to get his TED Talk, right? So that's where we're going with this, right? So we're laying the groundwork, right? That's what we did with the Mindfulness Power Hour. And that series will continue, right? That will kind of continue as the live stream I get to talk about whatever I want to talk about. Really update everybody on what's going on in my life. Again, that kind of serving as that video log, right? Journaling my progress as a clinician, as a professional, as a presenter, as a public speaker, as somebody who conducts workshops, right? Continue to build up that, building up to hosting retreats, getting to that residential treatment facility, right? That long-term care for troubled youth, right? Getting that far and really helping them heal and get off drugs and all of that the right way, the healthy way, unlike the kind of systems that we have now. There's so much that I want to accomplish, and I feel like taking this leap right here by joining this studio, being in this amazing room with these amazing creative people out here. It's just beyond exciting. I cannot wait. If you have not heard of Atithi Studios, again, please hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, let me know. Again, I have my phone's right there. Again, Sharpsburg, Axelball, right off the Highland Park Bridge to the left. Biiiiiiig. There's a sign for Biiiiiiig outside. It's right there. Beautiful art gallery, right? Amazing art gallery. But then they also have all these different studios that you can become a member and get access to, right? This is the podcast studio, right? This is where I'm at. They have a ceramics room. They have a photography lab. They have a painting lab. I think there's one more that I'm forgetting about right now. Again, first day here. They host all kinds of different events and workshops and things. And being a member, you get first access, and you can do your thing there. And you get to host a free class every month. So there's like a lot of coolness to, perks of that membership, right? So yeah, I encourage all you guys to go check it out. I encourage you guys to make sure that if you want to keep updated on what's happening here, right, on happening in this growth, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, right? We're in this together. We all are experiencing and living in this broken world. We are experiencing these poly crises, right? Where there's just so much on fire at the same time. We're just overloaded. We don't know what to do, and we're exhausted and drained and angry and pissed off all the time, right? We need this healing now more than ever, right? And if none of our leaders right now are going to step up, if nobody else is going to come to the rescue, right? Where's our generation's JFK? Where's our generation's Martin Luther King? Right? Where's our generation, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, right? Where's our generation of that, right? We need that kind of person to step up, and if I don't see anybody else raising their hand, so here I am, folks. Buckle up. I'm on a mission from God to save this world, and I'm going to do everything I can because I believe the way we save it, the way we really help things, is we figure out how to regulate our emotions and we figure out how to communicate again, right? I think if we are able to do those things, we will be very, very successful. Very successful. Okay. So, what I'm going to say here now is the game plan moving forward, right? Because today, this is the Mindfulness Power Hour, right? This is the special announcement. This is all that's happening today. I'm here in the studio for the first time, playing around, messing around, just trying to generally get a feel for things, see how everything works, right? So this is what we're doing here today. Next week, we should be able to get back to a live power hour. The studio is equipped for live streaming. I don't know how to do that yet. We're going to figure that out by next week. And then, so the Mindfulness Power Hour, instead of being Thursday evenings, when I'll be Thursday mornings, I think this is going to be much more successful in terms of what I can bring to the Power Hour. One of the things that I noticed in the year that I was doing it on Thursday evenings is by the time I would get to the end of the day on Thursdays, it'd be time to do the Power Hour. Oh, I'm so exhausted. You know what I mean? Like, I'd just be beat, tired, drained, brain go burr, just like not feeling it. You know what I mean? Just not good, right? Just didn't have the same pizzazz. Everything I wanted to talk about just kind of fell away. Couldn't think of anything, and most of the time I was hungry and wanted to go home to my wife and kids, you know what I mean? And then when you're not getting the traffic that you want to get, and people aren't showing up and showing it and comment and participating the way you want, it's even harder, right, to keep at it. But I did, right? I kept at it. And so that's why when this opportunity presented themselves, because this studio is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., right? So I can't be here that late. We had to switch gears, right? We had to switch the Mindfulness Power Hour to the morning, right? So we will be going live every Thursday morning. I believe I'm going to be aiming for like 11:30, trying to hit like the lunch hour a little bit, you know what I mean? But again, just like the last Power Hours, this Power Hour will be recorded, right? And then the replays will be available on YouTube to watch at any time, right? As part of that wellness, whenever you are, wherever you are, right? Is that you can tune in to that Power Hour whenever you want, and you just have to watch the replays on YouTube. And I'll make sure to share the playlist of those replays. So we'll be going live with the Power Hour on 11:30 on Thursday morning, and then we will be posting the replay and having that on YouTube, for perpetuity. That way you can watch it whenever you want. And then because we now have this dedicated studio, right, and I've been able to rework my schedule to give me a few hours every Thursday morning to do this, right, really try to dedicate some time to it. We also are now going to be adding in, trying to record 2 different podcasts, right, because I have kind of two different ideas on what I want to do there. And we're kind of, maybe we'll see which one takes off, right? We'll see which one works better with the audience, right? Which one do people like more? Maybe we'll discontinue one or the other, or maybe they both are a smash hit and everybody's happy. We'll see, right? So the two ideas there. Again, names are still in work, but I think the one is going to be called Mindful Mornings, and it's going to be a very simple, hey, how you doing? Let's kick ass today. Let's have a bodacious, joyous, most wonderful day ever. Kind of those positive affirmations to pump people up in the morning. I definitely think we'll probably throw in some gratitude exercises, right? To really take a moment to talk about what we're grateful for, what's going right in our life, what's working for us, right? We're going to do that. And then, some sort of meditation, breathing exercise. Maybe some brain humming, right? Tapping, all those kinds of different coping skills that I've already been working with the Mindfulness Power Hour, where we're going to kind of shift it to its own separate kind of straight ahead, hey, how you doing? Positive affirmation, gratitude, meditation, we're done. And that would be probably released more as a traditional podcast, not so much as a YouTube live stream. And that way, again, it'd be the same kind of thing. Mindful mornings, we're not going to really identify what morning it is. We're not going to say like, oh, it's Thursday. Maybe eventually we'll adapt to that. But it's starting off, I don't want to name days. I want people to be able to watch it whatever morning they want, whenever they want, forever, right? So that's why it's going to be called Morning Mindfulness, right? Or Mindful Mornings, something like that. Try to just, pump people up that morning and get going. And then more of a podcast that focuses on discussion of mental health and different mental health trends and and good things and this and that is going to be called Good Brain Food. And I think specifically what I want to try to focus on with that one is psychology in the media, right? What movies, books, TV shows, bring about these different life lessons and moral tests and, kind of invest us in that way of kind of teaching us about life, right? And being able to relate to different characters and the trials and triumphs and the traumas that they experience, right? There's a lot of really good TV shows and movies and podcasts and just all kinds of art out there that can really help us better understand what mental health is, right? And I think that is a really important way to help teach people about mental health, right? Meet them where they're at. We'll be looking at different movies and books and this and that, right? And just try to pull out those themes of psychology, right? Try to pull out those different character traits and what they represent in society, the archetypes and the character types and stereotypes that they may be representing, right? And how what's going on in that movie is, really relatable in real life. It happens to people, right? There's so much art out there to discuss from that psychological perspective that I think it's going to be a really great way to break down, what it means to be a good person, what it means to have good mental health, the kind of people that we root for and really like versus the kind of people that we wish would go suck a duck. I think that's going to be really exciting, right? I think that's going to be a fun project. I think there's a lot of variation in ways we can do it to, spend one episode on a piece of art versus sending multiple episodes, right? I think it's just going to be a really good way to show people what mental health and good morals and why people react and respond the way. I think it's a good way to break it down and teach people about mental health. Because again, one of the big things in our world today, right, is we just don't understand what is going on around us. We don't understand why people are reacting the way they are, what causes them to be the way they are, why we're so individualistic, right, and so focused on ourselves and not the greater we, right? And we need to get to that we, right? Dr. Dan Siegel, right, is valuing both me and we, right, equally, and working hard to make sure me and we are both getting taken care of, because that's how everybody gets better. Right? And we focus on just me. If it's just all about me, it all falls apart. And if it's all about we, it falls apart, right? You gotta have both. You gotta have me. You gotta have both. And I think, good brain food can really help that. And, being a therapist, what we feed our brain matters, right? The things we watch, the things we do, the hobbies and activities we participate in, right? The choices we make, right? It all matters, and all of it is brain food, right? So that's why I think, calling it good brain food and really trying to help people identify, what are good things they can do for themselves? What are good things they can watch, listen to, entertain themselves with, right? How do we combine, how do we combat that brain rot of social media, right? What do we do about it? Social media doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be used in a way that makes your brain less functional, right? We can fill our feeds with good, healthy shit, right? And we can have videos and things and material and art in our feeds telling us, hey, how long have you been on the phone today? Maybe you should put it down a little bit. Have you been outside yet today? Maybe you should go outside for a little bit and stop scrolling your phone, right? We can talk about different ways to block apps and things like that. What is good brain food, right? I think it's just going to bring about a really awesome discussion. So I am just super stoked about where we're at right now. Life is just, it's something right now. It is something right now. I'm just trying to rattle as many changes as I can and bring about as much awesomeness in this world as I can. I want to make this world sparkle again. I want America to truly, truly be great again for everybody this time, though, right? Not just like rich white people, right? Let's do better than that, right? Let's be better than that. And I think we can. I really, really do. So yeah, that's a big special announcement, right? I've recorded this as a straightforward, put on the camera, just go kind of thing, with the amazing editing material and things like that. I might be able to splice this up and break it down into segments to put on the socials and things like that, which I kind of hope I'll be able to do. But I'll definitely be putting this video out there on long form on YouTube for sure, and then sharing that YouTube link on that good old Facebook. And again, if you want good mental health shit in your feed, if you want to learn about coping skills, what makes your brain do the things it does, if you just want to learn how to get better at life and have life work more for you, right? If you want to figure out how to get life to look how you want it to look, right? And be what you want it to be, click like, comment below, share the hell out of this, follow, subscribe, do those things, right? Yinzer Therapist 37 on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. August Less Wellness on Facebook, because that's for the old people. Follow me, right? Find me. I have a monthly Monday mindfulness meetup, Relax and Dream, starting at the end of February. That'll be February 23rd. It'll be at 7 p.m. at Saging Space down in New Kent. Please come check it out. All that information will be posted all over those socials, right? There's a suggested donation of $10, but I don't want to price anybody out of wellness, so please just show up, check it out. Hopefully you enjoy it and you're motivated to put some money in the bin on the way out. That'll be a monthly mindfulness meetup, calling it Relax and Dream. And it's going to be in person, right? So kind of what we've been doing on these live streams, right? What we're going to be doing on these podcasts, right? We're going to be doing live in person at Saging Space, right? For the people that are able and local to Pittsburgh, PA that find this stuff, if you want to come out and do it in person, right? Hopefully we get a nice group of people and we can really work on some group healing, right? Because that mindfulness meetup will kind of be like a group therapy session, but more so on the demonstration side than the discussion side, just because if I'm the only therapist there, man, and there's a lot of people, but who knows, maybe I'll bring some back up. Maybe I got some new therapists I've been working on hiring and might be showing up with me that night. We'll see how it goes. But that'll be starting that Monday, February 23rd, 7 p.m. Saging Space. That'll be the last Monday of every month. We're going to do a monthly thing. And, who knows? If it takes off, maybe it becomes a weekly thing. We'll see. I have workshops coming up at the Plum Community Center at the beginning of March. The first 3 Thursdays at the beginning of March is the Brain Humming Series. We're going to teach the first part of the sound sequence, the second part of the sound sequence, and then we're going to do the whole sound sequence and then a sound bath. So it's going to be pretty fun there, those 3 workshops. There's going to be another wellness fair coming up. I believe that is in May. And then, again, a big part of this push with these podcasts, with the upgraded Mindfulness Power Hour, maybe I'll have to stop calling it the Mindfulness Amateur Hour, right? The big push of those things too is, we're going to be looking at building up retreats, right? We're going to be looking to plan a retreat for May or June. We want to start a membership club, a subscription service, not quite sure what we're calling it yet, but some sort of membership club subscription thing. That's going to be a weekly Zoom meeting. We're going to be working to launch that kind of program where we're going to have kind of like an outline, like this is the program. This is what we're going to do each of these weeks. And just kind of work through a sequence of, this is how we approach life and self-care, and just really kind of nail down what it is that I do in my private practice and individual work, and try to see if we can apply it to a larger group of people, right? Because that's the goal here, is to help and heal as many people as I can. I've been lucky enough, privileged enough that my private practice down there in Turtle Creek has been doing really well for the last 6 years. And my caseload is so full that I cannot take on any more clients. This is why I'm looking to hire more therapists, right? It's obvious that the world is hurt, right? Because business is booming, right? And I would much rather have business not be booming and the world be perfect, right? I'd much rather be out of a job and have everything working. I can find something else to do, people. I really, really can. But the need here is just immense. It's great. It's a lot. So I really hope that all of this helps just to continue to help more and more people, right? And that's what that subscription service, that membership club, whatever we end up calling it, that's what that's kind of be kind of focused on, right? Is giving people weekly access to, interaction with a group of therapists, focused intention on teaching, DBT skills and other aspects of counseling, and again, that weekly thing will feature a sound bath too. Hopefully, like when I'm looking at it, like a 30-minute lesson on coping skills or something psychology related, right? The teaching moment for the first 30 minutes, and the last hour is going to be, a sound bath. And that'll be like a weekly thing on Zoom until I am able to earn my spot here, and they can allow me in on Wednesday evenings, and we'll be able to do it. We'll be able to do it much better, much better. So it might not be sound baths for an hour right away. We'll see how it goes with the equipment I have in my house. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, I think that kind of covered everything I wanted to talk about today with today's special announcement, this special different edition of this Mindfulness Power Hour, marking my entrance into Atithi Studios and becoming, I guess what you could say, a professional podcaster. I'm looking really, really forward to seeing how this goes, right? It sounds like it's going to be a good old time here, playing with some real professional equipment, getting some professional studio quality, videos and clips, and then working hard to share it with the world, right? This is the first step of hopefully many, so just, again, I can't say it enough today. This is a great opportunity to please get on the bandwagon, right? Like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, do the things, right? Because we're really about to start, pumping out the content, hosting all kinds of different mental health events around the city, working to, hosting these kinds of retreats and things like that, right? Really working hard to take all that good shit, all that awesome magic that's been happening in my therapy office for the last 6 years, and just take it and apply it to the world, right? And if you don't think the world's on fire right now, if you don't think that America is heading in the wrong direction, if you don't think that we need to do better and be better, top to bottom, left to right, up to down, rich to poor, poor to rich, we gotta do better, right? And I really hope that this kind of push for me with that mental health awareness and the coping skills and the knowledge and all that can continue to help make this world shine, make Western PA shine, and then maybe if I have an success with Western PA, maybe we could go farther than that, right? But right now I'm focused on my community in Plum, I'm focused on my city of Pittsburgh, and hopefully we can kind of go from there, right? So yes, please come check me out in person, live and in person, February 23rd, 7 p.m. The last Monday in February down at Saging Space in New Kent for the monthly mindfulness meetup called Relax and Dream. I'm also hosting those brain humming workshops at the Plum Community Center in March. If you're interested in that, they're Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12, I believe. Comment below or send me a message about that. I'll get you that information. Please pay attention to when we start releasing the podcast episodes, right? I'm not exactly sure timetables on any of that right now. I might have a better idea next week once I get done with this and start playing with the equipment in the room, right? So pay attention to those podcast releases. And then, next week, barring any unforeseen circumstances, right, if everything goes right, we should be live Thursday morning from Atithi Studios with the Mindfulness Power Hour using professional equipment. I cannot wait. Super excited. So I guess thank you for all your support, all your patience and understanding. Continue to show up and show out for yourselves. I got to pat myself on the back a little bit because I made it through 25 episodes of the Mindfulness Power Hour, doing it on my own in my office. And we're about to up the game now, right? The goal still remains 100 episodes of the Power Hour. And then we'll figure out where we go from there. So we got 75 more. The first 25 were a gas and a lot of fun, a lot of learning. I can't wait to see what the next 75 bring us. We're going to be producing podcasts. We're going to be starting a membership club, hosting more workshops, hiring new therapists, all kinds of awesome stuff going on here at August West Wellness. I can't wait to see what we do with this partnership with Atithi Studios. Again, like, follow, subscribe, share the hell out of this shit. Get your therapist 37. Until next time, peoples. Peace.